Welcome back to the podcast. We're glad you're here with us today. And today, we're going to talk about an upcoming Starting Strength event. And you see the beautifully constructed logo for this event on the screen behind us. And this logo is courtesy of our friend
Steph, not me.
I thought you didn't make that?
No.
Nick Delgadillo's here with us. Steph actually built the logo. Notice the gray tone in keeping with practical programming. Was that your idea?
Yeah. We could say this is a collaboration.
Let's call it a collaboration because that's probably more likely what it is. What is this event? It's called StrengthCon. And I think the official title of it is StrengthCon 1. This is the first time we've done an event like this that's open to the public. We have a Starting Strength Coaches Association convention once a year in August. And that event is only open to the credentialed coaches. And we have a business meeting and have a lot of technical presentations and stuff. And we have a lot of interest in the general public coming to that, but it's a closed event, and it always will be a closed event. So for how long have we been kicking around this idea of having just an open event?
Probably as long as we've had the conference, because we get emails every year with people asking if they can come.
3 or 4 years, so
Yep.
This would be the 5th year of the
sixth coming up.
6th year of Coaches Association convention.
Yeah.
And so we just finally, several weeks ago, we decided, well, let's just push the button and get the general Starting Strength convention underway. So we called the August meeting of the coaches a conference.
Yes.
And there's a technical reason for that, which is
Wikipedia told us.
Wikipedia said that what that is a conference. And
a meeting of professionals. A symposium, a forum, a conference.
Right. Several things we could have called it, but technically the August thing is a conference. We're conferring. We're peers. We're conferring with one another.
Yes.
In this case, StrengthCon here, StrengthCon is not a conference because it's not a convention of peers. It is a convention of people on our staff, people that we have asked to present on various topics, that will be presenting to you guys, people who are interested in the program. In general, it'll be a perfect opportunity for you to come in and sit down and get kind of the feel for what a Starting Strength event is like without a great deal of expense. It's not going to be the same as a seminar, and let's just get that out of the way right up front. There are going to be training opportunities for you if you would like to attend StrengthCon. In fact, what we will do is we've scheduled 6 training periods over here at the gym, 4 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. That will be 2 hours long. There will be slots for 30 people. All 30 people will be supervised by Starting Strength coaches. I think we've got 5 coaches assigned to each one of the training slots so that it's a 1-to-6 ratio, not quite like a seminar, but very similar, and different lifts will be worked on, and you can schedule a 2-hour training slot as a part of the registration fee to come over to the gym and train with Starting Strength coaches. Get form checks and all this other stuff dealt with in person. And the rest of the activities will be at a place called the Forum that we use. In fact, it's the same venue we use for the Coaches Association conference. And we will have presentations all weekend long. So it will very much have the same flavor as the Coaches Association conference, but this will be a convention for anyone that wants to come. And
there'll be a big social aspect to this thing. The reason people are going to want to come to this is for the talks will be great, the programming will be fine, but the social aspect, we have cash bar, Friday night and Saturday night.
And Saturday
And
night.
catered dinner.
Catered dinner on Saturday night. In fact, what we really started this thing off calling it as a meetup, and I think probably a lot of you are familiar with that term. It is a term that's been imported from the internet for, some social groups on the internet get tight, and eventually everybody decides they'd like to stand in the same room with each other and talk instead of type, and that's called a meetup, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what this is. It is a chance for you guys that are fans of the program, that post on the board, that watch the podcast, that are interested in what we do and who we are, to come and meet the staff, come listen to presentations, same type of atmosphere you would find at the Coastal Association Conference. And the primary difference is this thing is open to the public. And you get to train here at the gym. And
a very interesting thing here is that Rippetoe is on the schedule 1.5 times, other than a Q&A.
And that's all.
And that's all. So you will get to hear from a whole bunch of different starting strength coaches, and we're going to talk about some of the different talks and stuff, but it's not going to be all Rippetoe. You're going to have a bunch of...
It's not the Rippetoe show. This is... Starting Strength has taken a broader direction recently. We're involving our staff at a much higher level than previously because the staff's ready to do that. We've taken a lot of time and have developed a very talented staff. Those of you who have been to the seminar understand that anymore I only do basically 2 of the presentations at the seminar. The staff is handling this, and they're very valuable people for you to meet, and this is a perfect opportunity for you to get to know them personally and maybe even come to this thing. It's got a much lower price point than a seminar, and after you come and you meet us, and if you've been on the fence about attending a seminar, this may very well be a way for you to evaluate how best to spend your money with us in the future. And I think that what you'll find is that things are even more interesting here than you thought.
Yeah, we've got, it's kind of broken up into, we've got some medical talks starting off. Sully's going to talk, do his barbell training, his big medicine talk, and then we'll have a medical panel Q&A with Sullivan, Feigenbaum, and Baraki. Have you talked to Sullivan at all about what he's going to talk about?
No, I just told him to just, have fun, and he normally does. You guys have seen his videos on the website that we run quite frequently. You've seen that he is in charge of the research review, the lit review every year. He took last year off from that because of writing the barbell prescription, but the lit review, I believe, is back on for the Coaches Association Conference in August. And he'll have some kind of an interesting topic. It will probably be along the lines of strength training for his particular special population he deals with, which is an older demographic. And I think that's probably what he's going to be talking about. And it'll be a valuable presentation. And just in case you're thinking about waiting to see these presentations as we release them as podcasts, I don't know that we're going to do that yet. We may just keep this as an in-house deal, and if you want to see them, you'll need to come. We're still in discussions about that. So it may be that your opportunity to see all of these talks will only occur if you're physically present at the conference. And once we get through with the medical talks, we'll have a rather extensive schedule here. And I don't have it memorized, but neither does Nick. So
it's on the website.
It's on the website.
So an hour medical Q&A, you get to ask these guys questions, Sullivan, Feigenbaum, and Baraki. Bret Mckay is going to do the keynote on Friday night, strength training and popular culture.
And Bret McKay's been a big friend of Starting Strength. trains with Matt Reynolds, and he has done a wonderful job of promoting our material on his website, The Art of Manliness. And Art of Manliness has grown immensely in the past 2 or 3 years, and it's a big, busy website with a whole bunch of content on it. It's much bigger than our website. And Bret's done a wonderful job. He's a very successful guy, and he's an interesting speaker, and we're happy to have him.
And has trained his ass off for the last 2-3 years.
He's going to pull 600 this year.
Yep. Yeah.
You know he is.
He's come to the last 2-3 meets.
Yeah,
he gets stronger every time.
He travels down from Tulsa to lift with us the 2 times a year we have meets here at the gym, and he's a great guy, and we're happy that he's agreed to come speak for us as the keynote speaker on Saturday.
You got to tell us about this private whiskey tasting. How's that going to work?
Reynolds has talked me into doing this thing, and what we are going to do, I think the way it's going to happen is we're going, if you come to the event and you want to come to the private whiskey tasting, you will have a chance to opt in for one of 20 slots that will be offered. It'll be a drawing, like a raffle. Not everybody's going to be interested, obviously, but if if only 15 people are interested,
they all just do
there'll be extra whiskey.
Oh, nice. Chase can't have any.
No.
Sorry,
Chase is too young. But what we'll do is Matt will bring, I think he's going to bring 3 interesting bottles from his collection, and I'll bring 3 interesting bottles from my collection. And we will have the glassware and the water, and we will have a special little room set aside at the venue, at the forum, to do our whiskey tasting. And that'll be at 6 o'clock on Saturday night, before dinner. That'll be in the break. The schedule has a break between the last speaker and dinner at 7 o'clock. So everybody that's in whiskey tasting gets to taste all of the whiskeys and listen to Matt ramble on about mash bills and ownership and age statements and things like that. He knows a lot more about this than I do. Yeah. But in my defense, the only reason he knows more about this than I do is because he has a lot of free time on his hands.
He's not doing a damn thing.
He's not doing anything all day long except drinking and reading about whiskey. And I'm 61 and my memory is shit. And I don't remember these little weird ass details that I used to be just as good at, man.
Yeah.
And remember.
He's also good at bullshitting it, though. He can make only 60% of what he says.
60% of what he will tell you that night will be jerked out of his ass right then. But it's entertaining, and I think that you probably want to plan on being there. So,
any prerequisites for the whiskey? Anybody can do it. I mean,
well, if they're of age, we've got to get an ID, obviously.
But if you got a beginner, a whiskey beginner, you're okay with that.
It's fine with me. There's no better place to learn than from professionals.
Right.
I didn't. If you're slightly interested in it, I would encourage that.
Yep.
And then we have dinner.
No dinner Friday.
No. When's the whiskey
Cash
tasting?
bar.
Saturday's the whiskey tasting.
Right. So we'll break for dinner, meaning everybody can go. We might get some food trucks to come out. We're still working.
That's on Friday. We're trying to get that, but the dinner break will take place after the speakers on Friday afternoon.
Yep. Then you'll come back and hang out with all of us.
If you want to, we'll have a cash bar available at the venue, and we'll hang around till 11 or midnight or whenever we get through. Yep. And then Saturday morning we pick back up at 9, right?
Back at 9, and then it's physical therapy talk. So despite what you may believe about our thoughts on physical therapists, we like some of them, and they're going to be speaking. So we've got Patrizio, Deaton, D'Agostino, Rory will be there, Rory Alter. So some of those folks are giving talks, and then we're going to have an injury panel after the talks.
And you'll have an opportunity to ask everyone's favorite questions. I hurt my elbow. What do I do? Right? the same questions that have been
Yeah.
rehashed on the board several thousand times apiece. But since you're a special snowflake, you need special attention, and you need a special answer from a special person, and we have that here. And this would be an excellent time to avail yourself of the preeminent knowledge in the barbell world about healing injuries, about really how you do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And that'll be a very valuable contribution to the day. And then we go to lunch, and then we've got what happens that afternoon?
Programming's after that. So we have Baker, Sullivan, Reynolds doing programming talks, and then a programming Q&A in the afternoon.
Right. And
so we'll talk about seniors. Sullivan and Baker talk about seniors. Some talk on the 4-day split Texas method by Reynolds, and then a Q&A. And right after that's the nutrition stuff. So Feigenbaum will do the main nutrition lecture or presentation, and then we'll have Wolf, Santana, and Feigenbaum on the nutrition panel.
And there'll be that extensive time for Q&A on all of these,
Yep.
all of these topics. And then Saturday night is the whiskey tasting during the break, and then we come back and we have catered barbecue from Brandon Iron on Saturday night, and we are looking forward to our after-dinner speaker, or our during-dinner speaker.
Yeah.
I think after-dinner speech and after-dinner speech is actually during
dinner,
isn't it?
Or who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bill
Bean is going to talk.
Bill Bean is going to talk to us.
Dr. Bill Bean.
And Dr. Bean is always interesting, and that would be worth the price of admission. I'm sure you'll agree. So Bill's coming in, and he's going to be
Don't forget,
talking, and then we've also
don't forget before
got,
that, Nikki's going to give a highly offensive talk on some topic.
Nikki doesn't mind pissing you off, and if you are possessed of any of the finer qualities of humanity, you'll appreciate this. You really will. And she's going to talk that night about I don't know what she's talking about.
No
I
idea.
just said talk about something, and she said okay.
Yep.
And as a result, we will be entertained a couple of times that night, and then we'll also have a cash bar Saturday night there at the same venue, so we can socialize and stuff till late at night. And then Sunday morning, what goes on?
Sunday, Tom is going to talk about USSF, strength lifting. We got Reynolds going to talk about online coaching. Dr. Feigenbaum is going to talk about concierge medicine. And then these boys, Hambrick, Shoot, and Coyne, are going to talk about the intellectual linear progression.
Which is an interesting concept. You may not have heard of this. In parallel with our approach to novice strength and conditioning, these guys have got an excellent idea for the strength and conditioning of your brain. And they're going to detail essentially a reading list and an activities list for you to develop your intellect. Mr. Coyne attended St. John's in Santa Fe, and those of you that know anything about education, about higher education, are familiar with St. John's, and it's an interesting curriculum. I urge you to look it up, and you will be the beneficiaries of the experiences of these guys at taking a linear progression approach to intellectual development. And I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a terribly interesting talk. And then I think we've got lunch at that point.
Yep, and you're going to give us a, I guess it says keynote speaker Rip, where we came from, where we are, where we're going.
Yeah, the development of the program, the things we're looking forward to happening in the future, that sort of thing.
And then a staff Q&A, which will be the seminar staff, Reynolds, Tom, me, Nikki, Wolf, and then we wrap up on Sunday at 3.
3 o'clock, we have a little closing summary after-action report, and then everybody leaves. And we're stopping at 3. We start at 3 on Friday, and we stop at 3 on Sunday because that's the best schedule for you to get here, get engaged with us on Friday, and then we leave early enough on Sunday to where you can get home and be back at work on Monday, those of you that actually have jobs. And I think you'll find that this is going to be the first one of these that we have. We've got plans to do this again in the future. We just are kind of sticking our toe in the water here to see how many people think this is a good idea, depending on the reception to it. What, you know, not, things may change in the future, but I think we'll find that everybody that comes has an excellent time.
Yeah.
And we've got about 100 people signed up right now.
Right.
The cap is 200. The cap is 200. The price is $299. So it's a $300 event. The limit to the sign up is 200. We're not taking more than 200. And we've got about 180 training slots allocated during this weekend as well, counting on the fact that not everybody's going to want to train. So
it's going to be a huge social event, and you get, I mean, it's really the whole starting strength experience, so to speak.
It really is.
We're not going in depth into stuff like we would in a seminar where it's just very in depth on the actual method, but you're going to get a nice broad overall on the entire starting strength deal. I mean, really, if you look at the schedule, it's all there.
It's all there.
Yeah.
And it may help you, again, decide whether you want to, in fact, come to a seminar or not if you're on the fence about that. But I think that it'll be an educational experience for everybody involved. Everybody will certainly have fun, and the social exposure will be valuable to everybody, us as well as you. So maybe we'll see you there. You sign up for this on the website. Sign up before you don't have the opportunity to do so anymore. This thing's about half sold out, and it's been up, what, 3 weeks?
3 weeks, so yeah.
3 weeks, so I don't anticipate it being available much longer. We're doing this little podcast as a kind of a advertisement for it and to prompt you to hurry up and get your ticket right now while it's still available. Anything else?
No, if you have questions, post in the forum. There's a thread on your Q&A, and there's one in the event thing too.
I think the one on my Q&A is cycled off the front page, but if you have questions or comments about this, there is a permanent thread on the Starting Strength Events forum, and you can get questions answered there and post them. We look at that every day, and we'll get you an answer as fast as we can. Yeah. Maybe we'll get to see you at StrengthCon 1 first weekend in April, and I know we'll be looking forward to that, and I hope you will too. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. We'll see you next time.